اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
When parents choose an education system for their children, it's based on a lot of different factors. Their religious background, cultural background, financial standing, location, their lifestyle, and their awareness around the world of the world around them. I speak strongly about this is because if I really care about somebody and I see them in a building on a third floor and I see that the 10th floor has caught fire and they're going upstairs, I would do whatever I can to get their attention, to get them to stop. I speak strongly about this because I've been out there myself, and whether you're going to a culturally diverse public school or a predominantly one race public school, which was my experience, either way the child is going to get mocked, or they're going to face racism, and they're going to feel like the odd one out. Keeping your children in a very sheltered environment with their innocence intact, we send our kids out into a world where it's a complete culture shock. Kids will feel ridiculed or mocked based on what they do, how they act, how they dress. When you move on to high school and middle school, it gets even worse. You hear, now the kids start to talk about drugs and parties and how they can get alcohol over the weekend and cigarettes, and it gets even crazier. And back then it wasn't such a big issue, but now you can throw in Islamophobia in the mix, and also the new health and physical education curriculum that's coming in September. The kids are torn between two different worlds. At home or at madrasa or at your mosque, and then when they're at school, they're just split between two different worlds. It was just really sad to see. Teachers are not accessible because the schools are overcrowded, and you just feel like you can't talk to your parents about it because you feel like if you're going to say something or mention something that you've learned at school, they're going to scold you as well, and you just feel that you're not supposed to say something like that to your parents. So you're not able to talk to your parents and let them know what you're hearing. So you're just totally split between two worlds, and it's a terrible thing for a child who is naive and innocent, but at the same time experiencing all these things. So I knew somebody who was Muslim and always ridiculed because of his religion, and these are the kind of kids that don't want to give in to peer pressure. So they find other ways to get out that anger or frustration, and they would get into drugs and things like that. And a lot of it became so ugly at one point that they would get into fights, and then the police would get involved and they would get arrested because of their religion, or because they're trying to defend their religion. And it was just really sad to see that someone has to go through that. When I had my own daughter, and when it was time for her to go to school, I did not want to put her through that torture that I went through. I didn't want her to lose her confidence. I wanted her to be proud of who she was, proud of her identity, and strong. And I wanted her to go on to university and be able to educate others and explain to people what she believes in and why she believes in something. We were exploring different options. I even thought about homeschooling, but I really wanted to keep that as a completely backup kind of thing as opposed to our first option. So we found out about Haadi, and we came to visit. We took a tour, and as soon as I was here, as soon as I walked in, it felt like an extension to my home. The environment was caring, extremely warm. The teachers were giving personal attention to children, small class sizes. The amazing thing I saw was that the older kids were, helping younger kids pray and getting them involved in different activities, and it just felt like as if I was there with her all the time, and as if she was at home and she was learning about everything. I researched a little bit more about Haadi, and I did some interviews, and I found out that the teachers were really had their expertise in their field of study, and the amount of work that they did, there was a lot of activity-based learning, hands-on, just really a close relationship, close bond between the students and the teachers, and how they took time to give personal attention to all the kids, recognizing their strengths and weaknesses. And that's when I knew that this is a really good option for me. I knew that I wasn't compromising on her secular education. In fact, I knew that she would be going above and beyond what I did. So what she's getting is an enriched learning experience that I, again, wish I had. It's character development. She's learning respect, values, morals, and Islamic ethics. And I know that that's something that she wouldn't be able to do in public school. I want to say to parents, if they still choose to send their kids to public school, just remember that you're going to be cleaning up someone else's mess, and it would be really difficult going forward. So just think about it and invest in your child's future.